Capricorn. This is your December 2025 horoscope for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. All month long, life keeps looping you through the same 3 rooms in the house, the place where you live inside your body and your home, the space between you and your partner, the way money moves in and out of your life. Everything else that happens is really code for those 3 areas. Changing shape, you know how to carry weight. That part is not in question. What December asks is a different thing. Do you want to keep carrying it this way? This year has peeled back some of your armor. There have been cracks in the professional mask, interruptions in the usual rhythm of getting things done, places where your limits showed up and refused to move. The sky this month is not judging you for that. It is inviting you to build a different kind of strength, less about endurance at any cost, more about structure that actually supports the human being inside the role. The first place this shows is in the quiet details of home and health. You may realize, almost suddenly, that your living space has started to look like your calendar. Overbooked, half-finished, storing too much from too many chapters. Dishes that get done in efficient bursts, but no corner that feels like it exists just to make you feel good. A bedroom that functions but does not restore you. A kitchen that works but does not welcome you. December brings you small, persistent signals that this is no longer workable. Maybe you wake up already tired. Maybe the thought of walking in the front door after a long day feels heavier than it used to. Your body is also filing complaints in its own language. Muscles that stay tight no matter how you stretch. A jaw that clenches in your sleep. Digestion that reacts to stress before your mind can name it. You are often adept at pushing through, postponing rest until the list is done. The problem is that the list has stopped ending. December is the month where your system refuses to fake it. When you ignore the signals, your energy dips harder. When you respect them even slightly, things ease faster than you expect. Practical changes help more than elaborate plans. Moving your phone out of the bedroom so nights are actually nights. Building a daily boundary around one meal that you do not eat while working. Clearing the path from your bed to the door so you are not visually tripping over unfinished business first thing in the morning. None of this sounds glamorous, but it is the kind of quiet discipline that your sign understands. You are restructuring the base layer so your ambitions have something solid to stand on. The people connected to your home are part of this story, family, partner, whoever shares your space or your bills. Old agreements around who does what have a way of floating back to the surface now. Maybe you quietly picked up more than your share because it was easier than negotiating. Maybe your partner assumed you preferred to control it all. December asks for a correction, not a courtroom drama, more like a board meeting. Here is the workload. Here is what it is costing me. Here is what needs to change. Your sign is good at reality. Bring that gift to your private life, not only your career. In love and relationship, this month has the feeling of reviewing a long-running contract. You and your person may be functioning, but are you thriving? Do the systems between you still fit who you both are now? There can be moments early in the month where small frictions flare up over logistics, chores, schedules, money. It will be tempting to dismiss them as stress. Look twice. Often those small sparks are standing on top of a quieter truth. Like you want to feel like you are building something together, not simply co-managing a life. You might notice where you have been the heavy lifter emotionally, the one who stays steady while the other one cycles, the one who remembers what needs to be remembered, the one who takes the harder role because you tell yourself you can handle it. Some of that is love and some of it is habit. December presses gently on the line between the two. There may be a conversation where you surprise yourself by saying, I cannot keep doing it this way. Or a moment where you choose to listen instead of solve, allowing your partner to show their own resilience. At the same time, your desire for real intimacy grows stronger. Not drama, not romantic performance. The kind of closeness where you can say what is actually on your mind without editing it for impact. The kind where you are not always the responsible one. Where you can bring your fears about the future, your doubts, your weariness, and still feel respected. If that already exists between you, this month deepens it. If it does not, December provides chances to steer the relationship in that direction, one honest exchange at a time. One of the most personal pieces of this month for you is how you handle disappointment in people without turning it inward. When someone fails to show up the way they promised, your first instinct may be to take on more or to assume you expected too much. The sky is gently pushing you toward a different response. Let their behavior be about them. Adjust your trust level, adjust responsibilities, adjust access. You do not need to become colder. You need to become more accurate about who can carry what. Money and finances sit right in the middle of all this relationship work. For Capricorn, money is never only money. It is a language for commitment, respect, future planning, and power. Early in December, numbers may come into sharper focus. A year-end look at income and expenses, tax implications, debts, savings, shared accounts, hidden costs of a lifestyle that looks solid from the outside but feels brittle when you examine it. You may feel a wave of frustration when you realize how much of your energy goes to maintaining structures that do not give much back. This is where your practical genius turns into liberation. You are uniquely skilled at seeing the long arc. December is excellent for decisions that trim dead branches from your financial tree, even if they are attached to proud memories. You might cancel services that exist only to keep up appearances. Consolidate debts into something more manageable. Renegotiate terms with a partner or employer so that the numbers match the reality of your contribution. Ask directly for a raise, not as a favor, but as a rational adjustment. There may also be opportunities that involve bigger responsibility, a promotion, a leadership role, a chance to own more of something. Your old pattern would say yes automatically. The new pattern asks more questions. How will this affect my body, my home, my relationship, my time? Does the reward match the additional emotional labor? You are allowed to decline chances that look prestigious but would hollow you out. What you say no to this month is as important as what you take on. Underneath the visible money choices, there is a quieter shift in how you measure success. You may find that milestones which used to matter most now feel strangely flat, or that small private wins hit your heart harder than public accolades. The afternoon where you actually rested without guilt. The conversation where you expressed a need without apologizing. The spreadsheet you finished for your own clarity, not to impress anyone else. These are not consolation prizes. They are signs that your internal compass is recalibrating, spiritually and psychologically. December has you sitting between the version of you that survived on sheer willpower and the version that is willing to design a gentler life. Old fears rise up as you consider doing things differently. Fear that everything will fall apart if you loosen your grip. Fear that if you are not the reliable one, you will be useless. Fear that if you slow down, all the grief you have not processed will finally catch up to you. None of those fears are silly. They come from real experiences. You do not have to conquer them all at once. Think in terms of experiments. What happens if I turn my laptop off at a reasonable hour 3 nights in a row? What happens if I let my partner plan part of the holidays without oversight? What happens if I take my own fatigue seriously instead of treating it as a scheduling problem? Each small test gives your nervous system new data. Over time, that data builds trust in a different way of being strong. Here's a micro move that fits this month for you. Sit down with your partner and one sheet of paper. At the top, write down one shared goal that matters in the next year. It might be paying down a specific debt, changing homes, adjusting work hours, traveling, starting or finishing something important. Under that, list what each of you is already doing toward that goal and what you think the other is doing. Compare notes. You may be surprised on both sides. Then choose one task or responsibility you will consciously hand off and one you will keep, but adjust the way you handle. This is less about the list and more about rebuilding the sense that you are on the same team. As the year winds down, you might feel an odd combination of tired and clear. Tired from everything you have held together. Clear about what cannot continue in its current form. That clarity is a gift. You do not need to make every change in December. You only need to stop lying to yourself about where the strain is coming from. Once you do that, your natural patience and discipline can do the rest. Looking toward 2026, the tone for Capricorn is subtle but powerful evolution. You are entering a stretch where the outer story of your life can start to catch up with the inner person you have been becoming. Career paths may bend toward roles that fit your ethics and your limits better. Home life can be calibrated so that it refuels you instead of merely housing you. Finances can reflect not just what you can endure, but what you are truly worth. And the work you do in December around these three areas is the scaffolding for that next chapter. For now, stay close to what is real. How your body feels day to day, how honest things are between you and your partner, what the numbers say when you actually look. Adjust one thing this month in each of those arenas in a way that your future self will thank you for. That is enough. When you are ready, listen for the readings connected to your other placements, especially your Moon, Rising, and Venus, because they will illuminate different parts of this same story. And if you want tools to help you track these changes and ritualize your choices, you can always come by mysticbolt.com, where tarot spreads, astrology tools, and other spiritual apps are waiting for you to use them in your own way. Until our next reading, Capricorn, remember that your life is not just your obligations. It is also your right to build something that feels solid and kind from the inside out.